And they had a comment section. What did people do? Same thing they do now. They just post a bunch of silly stuff. Somebody wrote, "The ass man I gay, big dick." Like many of you, we grew up Generation X. That means we were a kid in the 70s and 80s. But that doesn't mean we stopped playing around in the 90s. While some of you were in your 20s, going to bars, well, I was having fun at home by myself. Yep, surfing the web, looking up the latest movie news, and sometimes checking out official movie websites. I couldn't believe it. And today we're going to dig back into those archives and look at how websites looked back in the 90s. Now, usually when I do a video talking about the internet in the late 80s, early 90s, somebody, probably a millennial, will comment, "It wasn't no internet back then." There was. And even before the internet, I was getting on local message boards. Sure, it wasn't as fun, and even the early internet couldn't do much. You mean, all text-based, maybe some flash games. Take you forever to download a movie trailer, and you'd be about this big. But anyway, we're going to look at these websites thanks to the Wayback Machines at the Internet Archives. Sadly, they didn't start collecting these archives until 1996. The first movie website was Stargate, and it's lost to time. We don't know what it looks like. There was no one archiving it back then. No one screenshotting it. So we're going to have to look at mostly movies from 1996 to about the end of 1999. We got some fun ones to look at. And we'll also take a look at some of those movie news websites where we got our rumors. Remember we got movie rumors back then? Not like today. You get movie rumors today with a guy with a bedpan on his head or whatever, and it seems like it's always from an angry side. Oh, you can't believe they're doing this, they're doing that, they cast this person I don't like. No, this was more, we just had a lot more fun with the rumors back then. Didn't take it so seriously. Anyway, we're going to dig into these websites. Before we do that, we got to make this feel like a 90s video or something you see on a 90s website. So let's transport. Oh, I almost forgot. I have to get my transporter machine or it does me no good. Now, let's turn this thing on. There we go. Now we're going to let's go back to the late 90s. How many is going to go along? I'll bring all of you with me. Okay, are you ready? Well, let's go back to the 90s. Hey guys, it's 90s Junkman. Thank you for coming to my website. Can you believe? I've got video on my website. It must be Flash, because that's the only way we could do videos back then. I don't think we have any audio or anything, but most of the time it was just a GIF stretched out to make it look a video. Anyway, we're going to look at websites. And first, let's go head over to Space Jam. Remember that movie? Space Jam. Their website couldn't really do much on there, but let's take a look at it. There's Space Jam. The homepage wouldn't let me really click on anything, but you can see right there the map screen. You got the site map, you got behind the scenes information, you got the lineup. You got a whole bunch of stuff right there with Space Jam. Space Jam, man. I didn't care about that crap. I never got into that. I know somebody thought one of the Bunny Rabbit cartoons was sexy. There's only one sexy cartoon character, and that's Jessica Rabbit. Now, let's look at one of the biggest movies, at least for the summer it came out. Some people call it ID4. I call it Independence Day. Remember that? When aliens came to Earth? We were really excited about it, man. It was great. I remember going to the theater like that weekend, July 4th weekend. Before that, I could go to the website and check it out. Yep, they had a website. Let's take a look at it. And here we go with the Independence Day. Oh, that was a big movie. Everybody was excited about Independence Day. Now, I couldn't get the North American website to work, but I could click on the international website. So let's take a look. As you can see right here, we got an ad for The Coast is Toast. Now, that's not the name of the movie, but 1997 Volcano. I think Tommy Lee Jones might have been in that. And it's got a note right there that this is best viewed with Netscape 3.0. And it does have a Shockwave plugin. Let's dig into the site a little more. On this page here, we got Contact, Area 51, and a launch pad. Some kind of little games to play on the website. But that's a look at the Independence Day website from the 90s. Whew, Independence Day. I hadn't watched that. I never saw the sequel. Is it good? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if the sequel's good. Never saw that. I liked that when it came out. I think it's more of a product of its time. It's not something, like Star Wars that I watch over and over again. But for the time, it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you another one that was a lot of fun was Men in Black. There was a lot of good science fiction movies in the 80s, and Tommy Lee Jones teamed up with Will Smith for this one right here. And you know this one's got to have a website. You know they have to have a website, so let's dig into it. And here's the Men in Black. Yep, the real story of the Men in Black. It's got a lot of here. You got Aliens Among Us you can click on, Declassified. You got Join, you got Contact, you got Mysteries, you got Alien Technology. Man, they went all out. Look at that. You can click on these. Let's click on the Alien Among Us and see what we got. Oh, a message board. This should be fun to take a look. Here's a bunch of messages going back to 1997 and more. Here's a message posted by Lance. He says, Will Smith, everybody loves your show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Everyone from my class loves the movie, Independence Day with you in it. Man, he summed up how we all felt back in 1997. And Alex Gomez posted that he wanted to go see the movie. He wrote, I want to see MIB, but I need tickets. Thank you. Well, he was way ahead of his time. There wasn't a Fandango. You wasn't buying your tickets online. Men in Black. That franchise went like a UFO crashing in Roswell. They just went on with it and ruined it. That happens to a lot of these. Here's one that didn't become a franchise because we were all hyped up to see it for that summer. I think it was 98. And then we were like, why would I even go see this? We're talking Godzilla. Now, growing up, I saw a lot of Godzilla movies, mostly black and white on my TV. So it was cool seeing one on the big screen. Or so I hoped. Now, when I was little, I can remember even seeing a Godzilla movie with Steve Martin. Steve Martin. But, of course, Steve Martin was played by Perry Mason. Perry Mason. How about that? Anyway, let's dig into the Godzilla website. How about Godzilla right there? You can click and enter the site. Again, better if you use Netscape. But looking inside the site, we got a bunch of information here. We got information about the movie. Welcome to Phase 2 of Godzilla.com. We've got a bunch of links for movie info, welcome video, fan network, Gboard, even a live chat room. Ooh, I bet that gets randy at night. You got what's new and a couple more. Let's dig deeper into the site. Here's the Gboard, which I guess stands for the Godzilla board. Sadly, we couldn't get into it. Clicking it would just take you back to the homepage. We can look at the cast and crew right here. Did you know Matthew Broderick was in it? Well, you did back in 1998, before you even saw the movie thanks to the website. Gene Reno was also in it, and a bunch of other people. Here's all the information you needed about the cast and crew. Digging more into the site, you have news and press. It has a link from the Orange County Register. I guess that's a review of the movie. At least I hope so. You got a link to a Hollywood Reporter article about the movie also. The Daily News, WNYW, Vanity Fair, Newsday, and yeah, I even see it right there. WNBC. That website's better than the movie. Now, one that you thought would have a great website, and may have at the time, was Blair Witch. I mean, I know people that thought that was real. I still don't know how they fell for that and thought that was real, but some people did. Some people thought it was a real movie, a documentary or something. I don't know. There's a lot of weird people, people out there, let's be honest. And I thought this was going to have a good website, but sadly, it was kind of basic and none of the links really worked, but it was cool because it had video. I mean, came alive when you were on the website, which is kind of unique back then. So let's dig into it. Now, I thought the Blair Witch Project would be a fun one to look at, but sadly, you can't really click on anything. You don't really get much here. But they did a cool video intro, which was really unique at the time. Blair Witch, again, I thought it would be better than that, but who knows, maybe back at the time, it worked a little better. Another one that had to have a website was 1999's The Matrix. I mean, that one just screams, I gotta have a website to promote this movie. And they're sure they had web-based games and all that on it. And luckily, some of it still works. So let's look at The Matrix. The Matrix. This is one you're guaranteed to have a website. They would have to go all out. I mean, it just fits with the movie. Let's take a look inside. At the very top are little icons you can click on to get inside the Matrix. On this page here, you can see pictures from the movie. Sadly, if you click on them, they're broken links, so you don't get to see them big now, but I'm sure you can find them on Google Images if you really need to see them that bad. And they do have an exit page, but it just takes you to the Warner Brothers website. They also have some Shockwave games. One you can listen to in mono, stereo, or you can download the Shockwave 7. Sadly, none of those links worked. And they had a comment section. And as you can guess it, what did people do? Same thing they do now. They just post a bunch of silly stuff. Post a bunch of nonsense. Like someone posted, speak to the dog. At least he put 2 G's. Somebody wrote, the ass man I gay, big dick. Another person wrote, I will meet you anywhere, anytime. Uh-oh, somebody called Chris Hansen. Another person, where do you want to meet? Big Dick. Another person wrote, I think I'm female blue. I don't even know what that means. And I see somebody posted, Pink doesn't know what to say. Poor Pink. There's even more. Someone wrote, Matrix is a lesbian. Blowjob. Another one followed up with, Love So I Am, Big Dick. Then someone posted, the big dick stuff is sad. The internet hadn't changed much, has it? Man, this is straight 90s today, isn't it? Well, what about Fight Club? Did a movie like Fight Club have a website? Well, I'm pretty sure they did, but I couldn't find it. The closest thing I could find was fightclub.com, and I don't think it was based on the movie. Here it is, Fight Club. As I said, I don't think this really has anything to do with the movie. I couldn't find a website linking to the movie. This one here, I don't think that's Brad Pitt right there. And what's this? Click here for instant access to Teen Street. No, I'm not going to click that. I would have to put my hard drive into a Ziploc bag and piss in it and throw it in a river. No, that's not from the movie. I couldn't find anything related to the movie. I'm sure they had a website, but I know a cartoon movie that did. South Park. South Park's still going strong today. Can you believe it? Thing's been out like, 30 years. Can't believe it lasted that long. When I first saw it, I thought this is funny. It lasts a few years, but didn't think it'd last over 30 years. But they did a movie. It was funny. It had a lot of... But they did do a movie. It was pretty funny. So let's check out their website. South Park got into the act, and you could click on a flash version or a non-flash. Sadly, most of the links didn't work, but you can pull up a transcript from a Yahoo chat room with Trey Parker. There he is answering all your favorite questions. Let's read one on right now. Trey is asked, will you marry me? He answers, LOL. Sure, why not, no problem. I wonder if they ever got married. Someone else asked him, how did you get such a sweet ass? And he says, crunches. Another person asks, do you and Matt worry about upsetting Saddam Hussein? And Trey replies back, well, who cares? He's Saddam Hussein. And somebody else asks this question, do you think the R rating will hurt the movie's success? Because in all honesty, despite the warning, most of your viewers are under the age of 18. He replied with Paramount wanted to do a PG-13 because Paramount told us how much money a PG-13 movie would make. We didn't care. We didn't want to sell out like that. We knew it might not make as much funny, but we made much better film. We didn't know it would make much funny. Maybe it meant money. Now, you know I can't do this video without talking StarWars.com. I mean, not only did we get the Phantom Menace website, we've got the release of the special editions in 1997. So we're going to dig into both of those on the website. Look what was going on in 1997 or up to 1997, gearing up for the release of the special editions, and then 1999, the release of the Phantom Menace. Let's take a look. Yep, Star Wars. Sadly, a lot of the image don't pull up. This is how the site looked during the special edition release, or gearing up to the release anyway. Let's go into 1997 to see how it looked after the release of the special editions, and here you go right here. Look at that, some STSTs, and you got information about Hoth, Dagobah, Bespin, Tatooine, and the Death Star. As you can see on this page, they were celebrating the 20 years of Star Wars. 20 years, and here now, we're about to hit the 50th anniversary. It's crazy. Well, let's go to 1999 and look at the website after the release of the Phantom Menace. Here you go right here, and I have this look burned into my head. I can remember going to this site almost daily, checking for updates and the latest news. As you can see right here, they posted some news on April 30th, 1999. The Star Wars website has moved its headquarters to Denver for the weekend. Man, sounds like a lot of fun was going on in Denver over at the Rockies Air and Space Museum. And here's their episode 1 page with information about the cast and the story. They was tight-lipped. Of course, they wasn't going to say too much right there. Now let's give one out to the ladies. The movie Titanic had a website. It's not that bad of a movie. I saw it at the theater. I've seen it a couple times. It's okay. I've seen a lot worse. It's better than those Avatar movies. Let's dig into the... Forgot the name of it. Titanic. Sorry about that. Titanic website. Why is this one low so good? The one I want to see, most of the images wouldn't pull up. Titanic, look at it. It looks like it was built today. Let's head on into it. Here you can find information about Titanic the movie or the real Titanic. That was Titanic, and we looked at Star Wars, so let's head into space again for Star Trek. And sadly, there was nothing for First Contact. Well, they might have been, but again, the archive database doesn't start collecting until 96, and that movie was, what, 93, 94, somewhere around there? So the best we can do is Nemesis. So let's dig into the Star Trek website. And here's Star Trek's right here. Again, a lot of the images don't show. As you can see, they have a great video layout that you can interact with. But it's really hard to click on anything. I'm sure back then it was a lot easier. So let's turn the video off and head on into the site. Here it is right here. As you can see, it has a lot of information you can click on to learn more about Star Trek. They even had a Briar Patch web game, but you can't really play it anymore. Oh shucks, I bet it was a lot of fun. Whew, I went to that website and it felt like all phasers were on stun. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, not only did we go to the movie's official website, we went to news sites. And a lot of these were just people in their house doing websites, you know, movie rumors, news, and all that, gathering all the information they could. One of the big ones was ain'titcool.com. Well, ain'titcoolnews.com with Harry Knowles. That one, so popular, I'm not going to take a look at it. In fact, their website looks about the same as it did in the 90s. Weird, isn't it? But let's dig into some more of these. They were a lot of fun. Coming attractions. It was a good place for news and rumors. And here they are telling people to remember, if you're going to go see the Phantom Menace trailer, make sure you call the theater, make sure it's playing, and which film it's attached to. And they also had a big scoop why Babe, Pig from the City, was being delayed. Man, I want to find that out even today. And another one you had was Dark Horizon. They had a lot of good news and rumors. Digging into the site, you can see the headlines right here from 1999. This takes you back. It says right here, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace was having Taco Bell toys. That they did, and I bought many of them. One of my favorites to go to was Countdown. This was run by a guy named Lincoln. I actually became friends with him, and we would talk quite a bit. I wonder whatever happened to him. Let's dig into the site. Here's the Star Wars page on countdown.com. And there's my friend Lincoln right there. He put his own picture on his website. These guys were famous for starting the Star Wars lines at movie theaters almost a year before the movie even came out. Look at that, they had their own trivia game you could play. Well, that's it. That's a look at some movie websites from the 90s and some of those news rumor sites that was always fun to read. Again, we read them, and some of them we laughed at because they were so outrageous, but they wasn't clickbait angry, you know. Oh, look what the producer did to this. Look what the director's doing to our favorite movie. It wasn't like that. It was a different time. Sure, we got online. Sure, we complained about movies, but we all seemed to, I don't know, enjoy complaining about movies. Now it seems like you just go, you want to complain, yell, and fuss about everything. That's the internet today, I guess. Anyway, that's a look at some movie websites from the 90s. If you like this, maybe we'll look at some more. If so, let me know in the comments some movies maybe from the 90s that I didn't look at here. We can dig up. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.